Hello. Welcome back. How was your AFK? Mine was good. I updated the stream. I sat here and waited for the music to end. You know what I did do, though? I went out to my freezer and I picked up a ice cream sandwich. So I went to Trader Joe's for the very first time because that Trader Joe's opened up here in Fort Wayne. Which hadn't previously existed until, well, now. I guess it's been here for like a few months, but I don't live on the side of town where it is anymore. And I happened to have found myself, at the GameStop over in that shopping mall area. Specifically because I was buying something for my brother's birthday. This was a few days ago, and then I saw there was a Trader Joe's, and I was like, next time I go shopping, I'm going there. So I went to Trader Joe's, and I've heard a lot of things. Not a lot, but I've heard pretty good reviews about this Trader Joe's place. And I think I've had it before when my mom lived in LA, but I can't remember. But picked up a bunch of stuff from Trader Joe's. I hear that their frozen food is somehow really like godly tier. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where that came from. But I hear it's godly tier. So we'll see. We will see if it's true. But anyways, enough of all that. How about we go ahead and start the next segment? So, last year, I'm just going to repeat myself from earlier, just so this is all captured on the YouTube VOD, which gets separated by segment. Last year, and I believe the year before, I showed off the adventure map that I have been working on for the last, now, 7 years. Last year was 6, year before, 5. Started this bitch, well, actually, hang on, am I doing my math right? 2014 was when it started. Actually, it was probably around, like, fall or summer of 2014, so not quite 7 years yet, you could say. But, let me tell you about this map. Some people might hear the word Minecraft and regurgitate. To those people, I apologize. But I promise this is more interesting than that sounds. This isn't just going to be me starting a survival world, though I probably am going to do that once 1.17 hits, because that looks like a really good update. But enough of that. Enough talk! How about you? Let me wait for Minecraft to boot up, and then I'll go ahead and give you this. How's that sound? What monitor is this going to try to open on? I don't know. Hopefully I can get it to appear on the middle monitor here. I say middle, but I have 2 monitors. The one that's like directly in front of me would be ideal. Looks like the stream's buffering as well, at least on my end. That's very cash money that's doing that. Any day now you want to load? You want to load? Encoding overloaded. Dropped frames. 9,470. Was that all just now? What is going on with my bitrate? Is that just because Minecraft was booting? Huh. Hang on, let me make sure. Is everything still sounding all right? Any day now. Yeah, okay. We don't need to hear that. Let's get this pulled up, shall we? Right monitor. There's that. Maybe. If the screen could not rapidly flash, that would be cool. Hang on. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change my OBS layout here. $20W5A. What? Why does the window think it's 20W5A? Well, whatever. Are we getting sound? You could turn that up a little bit. Music, master volume. Let's put that up. Let me also get some background tunes. Just some. I kind of was unprepared for this, but let's see. Let's do some Hyrule Warriors. Lost Woods Extended. How's that? This will be a good song. Alright. How's that? Could go a little louder. How's that? Alright, that should be good. Just, it'll be quiet, but, you know, that's fine. So let me show you what is new on the map. I guess this has just become a little bit of a yearly tradition to, at some point in the year, show you what is new. You'll probably immediately notice something right off the bat, because this is where I was last working. But let's start at the top. Warp Rot. Actually, let's warp to Rot Spawn instead. Okay. So, like I said, I don't know exactly where I'm starting this YouTube VOD, but I'll just repeat myself one more time. This is an adventure map that I've been working on for the last 7 years. I've shown this off before on my stream very long time ago, a little over a year. And this is the spawn. But this might look a little different to how some people remember the spawn. And some people might even recognize where exactly this is. But to you I say, nay, it is but an illusion, and you shall learn exactly what I mean later. But anyways, welcome to Spawn. You're just gonna spawn in this gatehouse here. Right now I have everything set up with like Essentials plugins, but obviously this will be done in a way that works for I guess survival vanilla. I'm gonna turn this music down just a wee bit more. I know it's gonna be like really quiet for you. I already have my volume down pretty low. Like I can't hear myself through my headphones right now. I'm just hearing myself talk in general. I could try to boost that, but then that just makes the music louder. So, you're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. I didn't actually mean to come here. But I guess I'll show you around. So the spawn has a few different places for you to like work between. It's like a dynamic menu, kind of like Mario 3D World, where you walk around and interact with objects in the world rather than just click a menu. The clickable menu for options and stuff like that will be accessible throughout the game as well. But for the start of the map, I decided, why not? Let's make a few areas. There's a credits area that takes place in the throne room, which gives some pretty, like, I had to look through my world files to, like, find usernames of people that I, like, haven't spoken to in years. And I did the best of my ability with my memory and that in mind to properly credit everyone, but I'm sure there's got to be at least one or two things on this map that was like created or concepted by someone else that I'm forgetting to credit. I'll do my best to give all the credits that I can. Like, you'll come to find that there's a build that I'll be showing you that is inspired by something from this ZeldaCraft server. But the build itself that is on the map is not from the server. It's a recreation based off of my memory. We'll get there when we get there. I also looked in the server files to see who has all been in this world. So anyone that's been in this world has just been credited as a playtester. Even if you just walked around for a little bit and looked around, that's technically playtesting. So you've been credited. Whether or not I speak to you anymore, I just figured I'd give you the credit. Obviously, I've been working on this pretty extensively by myself. Kenzie will be doing a little bit of programming. We haven't really talked out the full details, but he's already done a little bit of work for some things. But I'd like to get Kenzie to help me with more stuff, because Kenzie started to write data packs, and I'm really stoked about that. Just for him doing that on his own, that seems pretty cool. So anyways, here's more things. Home interiors, credits. I'm sure you can read these. There was also the unused ice village, which is now the Japanese village that I believe I showed off last time. I don't remember. I didn't even look back at that stream, so I have no idea what will be new and what won't be. I've got a general idea, but I'll probably zoom through some stuff and be like, what, you didn't talk about this? And I'm like, oh, I thought I already did. Whatever. But yeah. There's an unused version of a village that was created by a dude. And, well, it's unused, so I still figured, he helped. He made the concept, and even though we didn't use it, I figured still give him the credit. Who knows? Maybe, I believe somewhere we have like the schematic of it, so maybe we'll use some concepts or ideas from it. Over here is just like, it'll be a summary of the story, whatever the story ends up being for this. I don't know. I don't even know if the story is gonna be real, but I'd like there to be a story. Like I said, I'm like halfway between wanting to like invest the time to figure out how to make this into like a real and proper game, but I've also done so much work on this already, so I don't really want to scrap it. I don't know, but enough talk. How about you? So here we are at spawn. This is actually the survival world spawn, because this is on a server with a survival stuff. But let me take you to the main map, which is now called Rot instead of PHQ. The PHQ world still does exist, as you will see here. I don't remember which one will take me. PHQ 1 takes me back to probably something you can recognize a little better. Game mode spectator. But the thing with this is, one, if I keep going in this direction, I'm eventually gonna run into corrupted chunks, for one. Two, this is quite a bit less developed than what you'll come to find, which I'll show you in more detail later. But the bigger thing that you'll see is that the edge of the world is just black concrete into the void, and just a cliff going into nowhere, right? You can see this halfway finished mountain, and you can see over here where we just were. So this is what this place looks like without water and like barely any design to it. So then we go back to Warp Rot 1, and then you can see this a lot better, which this is an entirely separate world that I made. And let me tell you, this was a fucking tedious process. So on the PHQ world, like out this way, just a little bit further, if I would have kept going this way, are some corrupted chunks that just crash the game and the server. So we can't use that. Also, the edge of the map has always been intended to be ocean. And I was gonna do that with some world edit trickery, but fuck it. Why not just generate an entire ocean world and paste the world in there? So I did that. I moved this bitch like fucking 16 chunks at a time and just piecemealed the entire map together into this new world, which that was like a day and a half of a project, but I'm glad I did. The ocean looks nice in most areas, and just in general it's nice. But anyways, this is the spawn area. This isn't exactly where the map starts, but this is where they get plopped into this part of the world anyways. I'll show you more what I mean about that later. Continuing on from the very first point, I don't have a lot of the first part done, but essentially you'll come up to this altar, you'll do a thing, ooh, and then you get the power of Christ or something. Alright, Christ isn't in this game, but we're gonna set it back to daytime so that way we can actually see what we're doing here. Yeah, just a nice little, what do you call this, a cove, I guess? I built this and I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, just like before, I mean, everything that you're gonna see right now on the main portion of the map was done block by block by hand. The only exception to that being like large flat spaces like this gets filled in with world edit, so it's not completely by hand. Yes, I know. But everything in this main map, as you can clearly tell by the detail around this mountain here, was done from scratch by hand. And as I pointed out before, there was that half-finished mountain before. Here's what it actually looks like after like 3 days of working on this one segment. And you can see what the water looks like along those weird jagged cliffs. So if I come down here, the concrete is still there, but now it's filled with 30 layers of water. So that's nice. There will be a little secret cave there, but you know. So this is that part. I'll show you the mountains, because the mountains are probably the most developed segment of the main map. I'll show you that soon. But yeah, the first area, you start in this cove, and then you'll come over here to this beach, and then there's like an area over here that you'll go to. You can see it kind of barely started to plot out for that. I've got some mountain sketches around the edges here, and then this will connect way over here. This won't all be ocean, but some people might recognize this. This is the old city, which is going to be a little bit more buried than what it currently looks like here. So I'm going to kind of build this cliff around this area and make it a little more foresty rather than just straight up a fucking city, because that's what it was originally. And I was like, this kind of doesn't, this feels weird. This feels like a different map when you go from this to there. Just like, even just standing here, like looking at this building right here from the subway. Did I show this last time? I don't even know. There's a subway here. This map is 1 block lower than it was when I pasted it, so oops, but I'm gonna leave it this way. So the gravel that was here kind of fell into the abyss, but that's okay because we're getting like 64 more blocks of underground space in the next update, so I'll be able to patch that pretty easily. But for now, that's what we've got. I don't really think much in this tunnel is different. Not that I can really recognize. Let me get the smooth cam on so that way it's a little easier to watch. So yeah, coming back into the fields. Like I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time going over what I'm certain that has already been shown off. So these fields I've shown off before. If you want to see me like really explore them, like walk around and explore them, go check out the other parts on YouTube. Just search like Surge PHQ or Surge Old Minecraft Worlds. One of those two will yield you the results. This is a little different. Before, this was just like a redwood forest. I've decided to morph this into a warped forest from the Nether biome update, which I feel kind of makes it look a lot more unique to what it will be. Otherwise, not really anything over here has changed either. It's just now it's warped forest instead of redwood. Other than that, it's literally the same thing, I think. Maybe like a little extra cliff action. I mean, I don't know. Was any of this... I don't think I've worked on any of this in a while. The town... I think the town is literally untouched. I could be wrong. I'll just give you a quick aerial flyby. I think... I don't know if it was there, but there's also the sewers. I guess I'll just run through it real quick. Sewers are here still. I'm really bad at hitting the wrong button. I hit the zoom button on accident, which is right next to my cinematic cam. So that's fun. Yeah. Now you come through this way, and then, oh, you're underneath the castle. Yes! A lot of the command blocks... Okay, so I do remember showing this off before, but a lot of the command blocks are broken after I manually moved the world. Mostly because I didn't paste them in the right chunks, because the map for this world... If I go back into the creative... Actually, I would have to, like... I'd have to do, like, cartography table shit in order to really... I'm gonna lower this so we get more frames. I'd have to do cartography table to show you, but I moved the world like a few chunks south. What would that have been? It would have been southeast? Or did I do north? No, I did northeast, I think. Where now the entirety of the map, because yeah, the bottom portion of the map used to get cut off on the map, but now it fits. So yeah, I moved it northeast. And I also kind of like centered it by moving it east. So yeah, northeast. I think this is relatively the same. Nothing really new here. In the dungeon. One of many dungeons across the world. So we'll just zoom through here. I guess you can kind of see now... when you come to the other end of the dungeon, how it's just a drop-off cliff into the ocean now, which this is intentional. I mean, there will be like cliff wall here, but you'll be able to walk out. It'll be kind of like my imagination for what this shot will kind of be like is it's like walking out onto Bionis knee. That's kind of what I imagine this kind of looks like. I mean, even the water kind of looks a lot like Definitive Edition's water. This is not a time for Xenoblade nerding. This is a time for Minecraft nerding. But yeah, if you don't believe me that this was all made in survival, well, not survival, but by hand. Here's underneath the world again. Here's a large chunk of unfinished terrain and some oh, looks like I fucked up on the chunk copying right here specifically. That's fine. I don't really think anything's new at the castle. You'll notice that the credits and stuff aren't here, though. That's peculiar. I wonder why that is. Huh. I did go and, like, fix some of the doors and stuff. Keyword some. This door is a prime example of not fixed. Here's the stage. I think this was here last year. Like I said, this side of the map is mostly untouched. I do think over here is some new stuff here, though. This was like just getting started when I came over here, I think. But now we have way more of that done, so I'll show you this. This segment of the map was kind of inspired to kind of be like a Fire Emblem map. I mean, that's not at all how it plays, but when I was like imagining this, like how this area would lay out, I don't know why, but I always had like pictured like a big Fire Emblem final battle here. So this would be like one of the keeps that you like regenerate your health in. I mean, in Fire Emblem they're a lot less rectangular, but you know, use your imagination. I think, I don't know if these buildings are new, but there's some burnt down buildings, and here's the canyon. Lighthouse is over here. This is supposed to be a lighthouse. I know it's like weird. Like what the hell kind of lighthouse looks like this? But the idea is that the light is down here and through command block logic, but what the player would perceive is that the light gets pushed from down there up into this chamber, and then it becomes the lighthouse. That's the idea anyways. I don't know how I will program that necessarily, but anybody care for a house tour? This is I don't know if I'm gonna be keeping this or not, but as a joke, I completely incorporated the area in which that I live. So yes, I live in a trailer. You could call me trailer trash. Yes, this is what my trailer essentially looks like. Not exactly to scale, but relatively so. Got the kitchen over here, and our kitchen is actually this wide open. It's pretty great for a trailer. Most kitchens and trailers are really closed off. We've got our cats roaming around. Roommate's room full of boxes full of Pepe. You've got bedroom here, bathroom there, and look, this is where I'm streaming from. Isn't that amazing? We also have acoustic foam on the wall, just as it is here. You can see my amiibos, my game collection, piano. That's what pianos sound like. This is bedroom. Yeah. If you recognize this area, you might have seen a bunch of amiibos on this counter at one point, because of a certain skit from a video. I don't know if you recognize. I don't know where they came from, but if you recognize that, you know, you know. But yeah, I'm not gonna dwell too much on stream there, but I've considered just making it like ruins, like the rest of the place. Like this apartment complex that I'm building here is going to be like burnt down and destroyed, but I'm gonna like build it up first and then destroy it like over there, whereas these I built to be destroyed. This, I just wanted to see what the difference would be if I built something then destroyed it. Over here's a castle. There's not a lot to this castle just yet, but the foyer is done, so I can show you that. If I just go through the door, there you go. Big ass chandelier, and big ass foyer. I really like this area, this like foyer area. The castle itself kind of has some inspirations from an older build that I did way back on an old survival server. But for the most part, it's modernized to how quote-unquote better of a builder I am now. I believe this castle was originally entirely just cobblestone, so it probably didn't look nearly as fantastic as this, or I'm also sure I'm exaggerating the scale a little bit as well. But the foyer was kind of like this, where it had like the stairs and then the the path on the second floor around. But yeah, that's all there really is to this. I mean, there's a path over here that leads to this like tower area, but I don't have this built or designed really. But yeah, the ruined city, as I've been calling this area. We're still looking a little choppy on stream, aren't we? Hang on, let me I just look back at the stream replay. I'm gonna take it down to 10 chunks. Hopefully that makes this easier on thine eyes. What else do we got?
What have we got?
So just some ruined buildings here. I've really liked this gateway with like the broken down door. Like, if you elytra glide it just the right way, you can like get underneath this too, which is kind of a shortcut to a later portion in the map. But yeah, just the right part. Also, I apologize if I'm like running through this really quick, because every time I show this off to a friend, this map, we usually spend about 2 to 3 hours walking through every little detail on the map, and I don't have that kind of time. I don't think you want to spend that kind of time looking at all this, because, you know, at some point I'm sure you want to play this for yourself. But by the way, you learned this from me. There's a secret back here. I'm not going to show you what's there, but there's a secret back there. Figure it out, gamers. Gamers! There's not really much back there. It's just like a little cave that leads down to nowhere. Yeah, I think that really wraps up over here. This cliff is still not done. I will never do this cliff. Never! Here's a broken door. You want a loud noise? Ah! Ah! Very loud. This is just for debugging purposes, but normally this gate would be up after a certain event. The door gets knocked over, and then you're free to pass through and enter this region. But, I guess we'll just put it back in its default state. Let's go back into spectator mode. And get that cinematic camera on as well. So, back up to the field. So this is like your Hyrule field. It'll connect pretty much every segment of the map. I mean, there's obviously some few like straggling things on like the outskirts of the map that you'll have to go through another region in order to get to. But for the most part, the field in the center here really does cover like pretty much everything. And that's not what I want. I want time, set, day. There we go. But yeah, the field pretty much does cover all of what will be here. You'll come to find that I didn't end up copying most of the desert over here. And the reason for that is we're gonna scrap the desert. Yep. The desert is getting scrapped, kind of. It's just gonna get an overhaul, but the current, like, geometrical, or, geographical, excuse me. The current geography of the land just doesn't really work out for me. Also, looks like I fucked up the copy-paste on this ring. Nice. But yeah, the geometry doesn't really work here. Geography, said it again. So a lot of this desert is going to be changed. Let's see, some snow is growing here because of biome mess up shit. But let's show off the mountains, and this will be the last segment of the main map to show off. There's a lot of progress outside of the map that was done, but the mountains is the biggest thing that I worked on for the main portion of the map this year. And Mostly, there were some touch-ups, adding some snow. I'm gonna probably try to do some kind of world edit magic to have the mountain peaks match a little closer to what the 1.17 mountains will look like. So that'll be a fun project. Just redoing the tips of all these mountains. Like I said, I could probably figure something out with world edit. Nothing's really changed in the town, but if you want to see it, here's the Japanese city. Yeah, I showed all this off last year. The biggest thing that's changed to the mountains is more areas was added, and all of the what direction? West and pretty much the south coast have been finished now. Which also means, you know, you get the bottom of the canyon finally. I remember when we ported this to this server, how we lost the bottom of the canyon. I finally took the time to actually build the bottom of the canyon. And then we have this mountain over here, which we need... Come on, give me chunk reload. There we go. So yeah, here's the edge of the world. Also, music ended. Let's do this song. This is a good song. Here we go. So yeah, here's the edge of the world, or edge of the mountain areas. A lot of this mountain stuff is gonna go relatively unseen, because this is like the only way you would ever get to see this, like, cliff. I mean, you'll be able to stand on this platform here eventually, and you can come out to the corner of the beach here. And you can technically swim this far out, though you'll be underwater. But this is pretty much the only time you'll get a good view of this. And I wanted to show you guys, you know, I've already shown you plenty of examples of, hang on, I'm opening a folder right now looking for something. I've already shown you plenty of examples of building these mountains, but if you want to know more of what that process is like, here's a picture. Alright, so this is like early on me building these mountains. Actually, I think this screenshot might be even earlier than that. And then we have this screenshot, which I think is just the same time as the last one, but just from a different angle. And then here's the mountains to pretty much what they are now, where, you know, the only difference is it's not covered in the snow. But yeah, these mountains are fucking tedious to build. This took me like a week to do this one corner, I swear to God. And oh, if you wanted to see what me tearing out chunks looks like, here's a here's a screenshot of me doing that. So as you can see, I don't even like take all of the vertical access, because if I do too much at once, I'll risk crashing the server. So I have to take the things out in segments and then paste them here. And eventually it starts to look like this, where I just paste it chunk by chunk. It was annoying to do this, but also totally worth it by the end of it, because now we have what we have here. Anyways, let me get Twitch back open. Put that over there. Alright, so just keep moving on. Again, I apologize if I'm talking a little fast. In fact, I need to get a drink of water, because I don't normally talk quite this much. I give myself some time to rest. Here's a pathway. The shaders get fucked when you stand in this one particular spot. It's kind of painful, actually. But if you come in here, you'll come to find a big staircase. I don't remember if this was here last time or not. Probably not. I don't think so. Yeah, considering this is all like Nether update shit all over the walls, I don't think that was out when I did this last. Yeah, there's like this little balcony here underneath this rock overhang, and you can see the little island over there with a campfire. And this will be another dungeon over here. That's why it's all like bright and shit, because I haven't built that dungeon. I'm waiting to actually build the dungeons until like we get some more like confirmation of what we're capable of doing with data packs. Because I want to design this world in a way where you don't need mods to play it, but data packs seem kosher enough. You know, you can just download them alongside resource packs. You know, mods can be complicated to A, get working, B, you know, for people with lesser capable computers, you know, mods can be really, really intense sometimes. So, anyways, you climb up the staircase, and you'll find that you just took a shortcut back up to the top of the mountains. And last year, the mansion, I believe, was still standing as just the regular old ice mansion, and this is where I started off at the beginning here. But now the mansion has evolved into a Japanese like tower. Stream frame rates are still kind of chunky. If I lower the chunks anymore, you won't really be able to see what's happening, so I apologize on that front. Let's see. But yeah, once again, it's a dungeon, so lots of dungeons nearby each other now that I think about it. But dungeons aren't really designed that much. Like I said, waiting for data packs, but the top of the dungeon is done. So once you come through some rather annoying chain parkour, yay, that might get changed. You will end up here at the top of the tower. And this will take you to the throne room at the top of the tower, which is a big sun archway and is an insignia that you might recognize, and then a green ass chair. Amazing. I like this room though. I don't know what it reminds me of, but the sun is really cool. Just a big arch, like high ceiling. It's a nice room. It's a nice throne room. Nice. I honestly might make this tower even taller with the new expanded world height. I've been considering it. No confirmation just yet. We'll see what we design this dungeon to be. But if you ever see this again and you're like, wow, this tower looks really short compared to what it was in the final release, if that ever happens, that's probably why. Over here we have a pathway that leads into a mine shaft. I just made this mine shaft last night, actually, while just trying to de-stress. This game is a great game to come back to whenever I'm like stressed out. I just start chugging away and building things, and here we go. But yeah, this cave area is completely new as of like I said yesterday. I mean, obviously a lot of work left to be done, but come over here, there'll be some like ruin stuff, big open sky from the mountains, otherwise just a bunch of caves. And then this bridge, which now that I think about it, I made this wrong. There should be, like, I'm designing this to kind of look like mineshaft generation. So this is how bridges and mineshafts generate now, with those fence posts at the bottom. Well, there you go. Now it's a little better. And then you come through that way, and then you end up on the big slope. I think this was around last time. I don't really know. But here you go. It's just a big pathway that leads all the way back down to the bottom of the mountain. It's kind of barren right now. this is kind of like Valak Mountain in Xenoblade 1, where it's just like long stretches of nothing. Granted, there'll be like enemies to fight, but you know, big stretch of not a lot happening through this route down the mountain. So that might get changed as well. I don't know. I mean, it's also kind of like contemplative and you know, you get some alone time just going down the path, given what may or may not happen in the story right before going down this path. And then you find yourself back at the field from there. The one that's normally all sealed off. So, yeah, we made full circle here. I don't really know if all this was completed or not last year, but we've got some mountains. Mountain Crusher! I think this was here. The big, here's the source of the river, by the way, this little area here. If I go through the ice, you'll even see that there's a cave where all of this comes from. You know, I always figured that magma should be pushing bubbles up, right? Because it's like warm. And warm water should rise from cold water. But I guess not. I guess warm just sucks it in, I guess. And soul sand pushes it out. But yeah, this is this, excuse me, this is the source of the river, all the way down here. Well, the ice river, anyways. Hiccup, stop! This is not the time for you! What else? What else is there to show? I think that pretty much covers the mountains, in a general sense. I mean, obviously, there's some areas that I could show you, like this mess. I guess, yeah. This area was kind of designed because I just find it really unique when I'm building these mountains the way that I do it. Is I make these outlines in order to like be like, okay, so when we get to this point here, we have to have these 2 points match up wherever it can connect at by just going in a straight line. This is how I actually make these mountains. And then I play with the angle until it connects just right like that. And that's how I make these. I was like, well, obviously this isn't going to be kept like this in the final map. This will be filled in. But I was like, I just like the way it looks. So I kind of made this where you have these big long pathways, and it's also kind of confusing. At this point you have the Elytra short glide, so it's not apparently obvious where you have to go. You can suck at jumps like I do, which this jump is actually kind of difficult, especially with creative, because I can't like quickly tap. There we go. Ah! Yeah. If you didn't notice, when you're in survival, the Elytra eventually kicks off. It has a constant durability of 2 whenever you're standing on ground, but whenever you're in the air, it doesn't keep it at 2 durability, so it will, over time, degrade. But once you land, it goes back to full, well, not full, but the 2 durability, which gives you just like a little extra of a distance glide. If you're really good with angling it, you can go really far. I've seen some people be really good with it on my playtesters. There's also a small bug that I've noticed, and yes, I'm going to show you this, which is totally going to break the map. We're going to try to figure out if there's a way to fix this. But if you just look up when you're doing the glide, when you're doing the Elytra glide, maybe, hang on. Well, it's not working here. Oh, you know what? It's jump boost. Okay, so That's interesting. I lost my jump boost because I healed. In fact, give Sir Surge jump boost. Okay, so when I have the jump boost... No? Still no? Okay, yeah. When you have jump boost, which everyone will have jump boost level 0, which is technically level 1. That's just part of the map because there's like slabs and stuff that I want you to be able to jump on. But I might have to revoke it for the Elytra. Now that I've seen that removing the jump boost removes this ability. But if you just look up slightly when you do this Elytra short glide, like into a wall, you bounce up 2 blocks high, and which really breaks the geometry, because I've designed a lot of this world to not be just straight perpendicular cliffs. I've designed it to feel somewhat natural, which might be the bane of the existence here. So we might either have to patch every fucking wall so that way there's no 2-block jumps in places where we don't want that to be a feature, and we could keep it as a feature at that point, or we have to remove the jump boost, which probably is what we're gonna do, actually, now that I think about it. Remove the jump boost so that way, you know, they're not able to jump that high. But that is gonna cover the main map. So now let's talk about bonus map or bonus warp areas. So let's go to Rot 2. This is the actual beginning of the map. You start in this big open field. I've shown this off before, but now this area 100% completed. Nothing left to be added. Which that feels really good to say. So we've got all these hills. Now these hills were not done completely by hand. You'll come to see that they were done with World Edit Brush Tool. So I am admitting it now that for these small disconnected portions of the map, we kind of budged a little bit on the rule and said, let's generate some terrain with World Edit Brush Tool. So if that takes away some street cred from me, I'm sorry. But I didn't want to design all of these like background detail mountains, especially because there are multiple of these disconnected maps that exist, and we want it to feel alive in the sense that, you know, from areas that you can see, you know, we don't want you to be able to just see into the horizon. We want there to be like mountains and stuff obscuring your view, so that way it's like, oh, there could be more things over there, even though, you know, I just showed you that there isn't. But, you know, as far as you can see from here, you know, oh, you know, what is over there? I mean, the Darish Pass and Olympus City, but here's one of the concepts that I took from the original Zelda Craft server that I had credited. This is Mount Olympus, as it was called on the server. I don't know if we're gonna keep that name here, but it's just like this weird, like, floating fortress city thing. I don't even know if I, like, built this correctly, but based off of my memory, this is what it kind of looked like. Had these disconnected, like, dome area things, and then one central location, which is an egg and a chair, and I don't even know why I put all these details. Also, are you a hacker? Yeah, so that's the Olympus area. The chunks just don't want to load. Everything here should be as you remember it in the center part here. For the most part. I mean, like I said, there's new details with the cliffs. There's a hill on the other side of the cliff here to, once again, just give the illusion that there's more here than what there really is. Which extends even a little bit beyond the hill. There's like a little lake over here, which I doubt there's any way anyone will ever be able to see this lake. But This actually generated from an issue with the smoothing brush tool, because this is still that same world from before. I just pasted a bunch of grass chunks. But if I remove the grass, you'll come to find that it's still ocean underneath. So by like doing the smoothing, you can see like there's certain parts where the water like came through the bottom and then showed up here. Is the song fading out? No, it's not. I was like, it has not been 30 minutes already. But there's some other small details, like there's this tiny house, which, you know, it'd be bigger if you could actually walk up to this, but considering how far away this is, it's just supposed to like be like, oh, look, way in the distance, there's a building way over there. You can see it from here, right? If your chunks were good enough, which my chunks are currently not. Let's see. If I do 20 chunks, I'll probably load it in. Yeah. So you can see the mountain from here. Yeah. Wow, there's a house way over there. Wow. But then you come over this way, and you'll find some cliffs that I designed to kind of resemble... So if you play Breath of the Wild and you go to the Zora area, specifically at the like highlands, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of cliffs that are just like this, like on the border between Zora Highlands and Akala. So that's kind of what this stuff is based off of. It's like the Zora grounds. You can even see like there's some water here. I mean, there would be a river that would flow through here, which is kind of implemented for a little bit, but after the player can no longer see around the corner, I said, why bother continuing? So you don't. You just don't. You don't continuing. What else? Here's a big ass city. Well, not city, just building. I like this building a lot. This is based off of... Oh, also there's a big map of the area. This building is loosely... I don't remember the exact layout of the building itself, but the exterior is mostly based off of a build from, once again, ZeldaCraft. This was in like the very first place that I ever like lived in on that server. There's a lot of like lore that goes back to that server, which that server had a lot of like roleplay lore. I know it's kind of cringo when I say it like that, but a lot of the lore was surprisingly good, and you know, no one really owns it. And you know, I was heavily involved in that, so I figured why not throw a few references to it at the very least. I'm not going to be reusing like major story hashes or anything from that roleplay, but like, oh yeah, here's a building from there, or here's this character that appears was there. It's not the exact same character, but borrowing some traits maybe, perhaps even. So yeah, you come up to the roof even, if you really like to. And big arrow portal, which kind of resembles the one at the desert. I wonder if that has any connections. There's also a house in the lake. Don't worry about the house in the lake. That's definitely not a reference to anything in particular. Alright, so now let me show you something else. I need to show you rot. I think it's 5. Okay. So you might be saying... Wait, no, this is PHQ3. No. Rot 5. I don't know why I thought I hit that. Yeah, anyways, here you go. Rot 5. Look familiar? Huh. This is like... the same thing. What is all that? What's going... What? So if you come here at a different portion in the game, you'll come to find this house has seen a little bit of exterior and interior decorating. Yeah. Shit's on fire, fam. Fam Thaniel. And lo and behold, you walk away from home for a little bit and now it's turned into a dungeon. Yep, this is another dungeon now. So, you now have to navigate the once pretty straightforward to get through home. And now you have to find your way through its newly designed maze-like interior to find your way back to the top in order to do a thing. Floors are crumbled, walls are damaged. I mean, I didn't show this much of the interior the first time, but take my word for it. This was not this badly damaged. In fact, not damaged at all in the other version of the map. I'm considering trying to find a way to, like, dynamically have this happen, like, right in front of the player. But this is a big area to, like, paste into one area. So I'm not sure if that'll happen. I might just have them get teleported to here and then be like, oh shit, look what happened. Look what you did. Yeah, you can see I played around with some, biomes to make nether particles appear on the outside here. And then if you go on the inside, you get the red ashy particles. Oh, ashy particles out there, red fiery particles in here. But yeah, this is a dungeon still. You gotta find your way up to the top, do some parkour around the scaffolding. It's fun. It's fun. Maybe. Also, just a little side bit I want to show you over here in this cave, which I've shown off before, I'm pretty sure. There's a book here now, which happens to have 64 pages of lore, which I will not spoil for you. You can, like, freeze frame those pages that I just showed you if you really want to see it. But the rest of that book you gotta read for yourself when you actually get there. Optional piece of lore. You don't have to go to that book at all. But I'm gonna have little details like that to help with the story, world building stuff, maybe. We'll see. Let's go to Warp Rot 3 to show you some behind the scenes. That's PHQ 3. Rot 3, please. PHQ is the old world. I haven't removed it quite yet. Here's some behind the scenes stuff. This is what the new world spawn looks like. Designed after beta testing areas from like Mario Sunshine or Wind Waker. I mean, all of the same command block stuff is here. Just in a few different locations. Here's the map. So if you wondered how I pulled off some of these textures on the map, like this right here, this is just a map of you know, you do different blocks at different angles, it gives you different shading, and then you get this cool thing happening. And then you get another map for over here. It's cool. I think I've shown this off before. I'm not sure, but this has existed for a while, these map art things. But yeah, this is just my little beta area where I test some things. You can see over here I played with biomes and like how it blends with grass, water, which water you can't really even see with the shader. But and then like way over here is like where I actually constructed the two different versions and then compared the two of the house and made sure that they were relatively the same. So like details like the carpet over here needs to be present over here, but in a much more, well, much less ruined state. What else is over here? I'm gonna try to wrap this up quickly because now my throat is starting to die. So here is the spawn. Remember how before I said it was but an illusion? It's because it's actually not even the whole thing. As you can see, I gutted out the castle, And I just gave you just the essentials of what you need in order to have these dynamic menus. And the only reason I decided to do that was just in case someone wanted to get cheeky and started fly hacking, so they didn't spoil the rest of the map. But I mean, obviously they could just do that later. But, you know, I make you gotta work for that bitch. You don't get that for free. Let's see, what else do we got? Warp. Rot 2? No, Rot 2 we've already been to. Rot 4. This one's new. Okay, so this is the Masyaf Kingdom. I believe originally this was a survival fortress, once again on the Zeldacraft server, named after, I think, a place from Assassin's Creed? I don't know that one to be sure. But I didn't name this after Assassin's Creed. I named this after the thing that named it after Assassin's Creed, so it's copyright free. I'm also pretty sure it's an actual city in, like, Iran or something. Maybe not Iran. I don't know. Syria? I don't know where it is. Some, like, Middle Eastern country. Yeah, as you can see, more shenanigans with terrain gen, just making background details exist, but not necessarily be a fucking chore to actually put together. For some reason, this, like, cove right here reminds me of Breath of the Wild again. Like, one of the parts on the Lanayru mountain, Mount Lanayru rather, Meatball. But yeah, so you got this fortress off the coast of this land here, and there's some terrain gen that I'm still gonna fill in by hand here, as you can see. But I really like this. This whole fucking, like, fortress is really cool. And as far as I remember, this is fairly accurate. So there was, like, this little sumo ring here where, like, it was fucking metal as hell. The dude would stand up here and be like, "Fight to the death! Whoever wins gets to join my army." I swear to God, this was a real thing. And he would hold, like, little tournaments and shit in his little arena. It's kind of cool as hell. Obviously, this fortress is way more detailed than it ever was. Because originally, I'm pretty sure this was just a stone brick structure. This original build was like 1.2.5, so obviously things like barrels, banners, chains, stuff like that didn't exist. Armor stands probably wasn't in the game at that point. There was a throne here, not made of quartz, but there was a throne here, and there was also a secret underneath his throne, though it was less obvious than this. I just wanted to give a little visual reference to it. There's nothing actually down there. It's just a door that doesn't actually open, kind of like this one. I don't believe any of the doors here are programmed, which will probably remain that way. But there's a nice garden out here. I like this. We've got a gazebo, diamond statue. But I think that covers all of the updates. Like I said, sorry for rushing through this last segment. I know this wasn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, so I didn't want to spend too much time. What's Rot 6? Oh, right. Portania. So there's a port town as well that I started to build a little while ago. There's not a whole lot here, but you get a little central plaza. There's this building here, which is kind of out of Age of Calamity. Specifically in the castle town, there's like a building that's like that. Excuse me. We've got this port area. And a cool thing about this is when I was in Japan and I visited the Navy base, I didn't get to see it in action, but my sister said that they had these bays where they would take the big, the aircraft carriers and stuff, and if they needed to work on the hull, what they'd do is they'd drive the carrier into these port areas, and then they drain out all the water from underneath it, and then work on the hull from like underneath the boat, without actually like going like diving or like taking a crane and lifting it out of the water. So that's kind of what this is supposed to be. I never got to see that, so I have no idea if this is like accurate to what those things look like. But yeah, I made like a port with some cranes, some girders, some trucks, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Boat, B-O-T-E. Does this have all of its interior? Just this part. I don't think the hull is done. There's the captain's deck. The captain's deck! Yeah, there's nothing on the inside here. Can I get out, please? I have too much speed. Alright, I think that covers it. Also, bitrate dying. My stream is buffering. Is it dead? Is stream dead? It says excellent quality, but the stream is just buffering. Amazing. Alright, but that is going to wrap that up. You just see some visual things. I know I ran through this really quick, but you know, I just wanted to provide a small update to those curious, to those who maybe saw the previous 2 episodes and was like, I wonder where that's at now. But yeah, I'm gonna let my throat rest since I've been just, at this point, non-stop talking for the last 2 hours. So, yeah. Hopefully, I was able to somewhat impress you with what I have going on here. But if not, understandable. Have a nice day. Here, have a picture of Kenzie and I messing around with his data pack. I'll let you figure out what is happening there. Secret. Alright, I'm gonna let you in on the secret, actually. He's a sandwich. But, do I have any other interesting screenshots? Here's another screenshot of, pasting the world together. Here's the water being weird. I don't remember why that happened exactly. What else? Here's the temple, like, halfway built. I guess this was taken on September 21st, according to the screenshot tag there. Any other interesting things? Here's the canyon half built.